Hello, everybody. This is Mike Simpson with Chalk Talk. Today we're joined by a couple of GHS seniors. Always when we have the GHS seniors come in from the high school, we have high school principal Dusty Throckmorton. But today, our guests of honor are Ryle Green and Christian Perrin. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, we're just going to have a good talk today. We'll have fun with this, and we'll get you guys back to class. I know you guys are worried about that, so we'll make sure and get you back into class. So let's talk a little bit. Kind of introduce yourselves. Talk a little bit about what you do and the things that you're involved with at the high school. And we'll start with Riley.
Hi, I'm Ryle Green. I am a member of our band, a member of the National Honor Society, and I am the presiding leader of our Mu Alpha Theta chapter, which is our math club.
Okay. And Christian?
I played football for 4 years. I did powerlifting for 3 years. I'm in Mu Alpha Theta currently in National Honor Society. I do the Junior Achievement Program, so I go work in the second half of the day, and I also take concurrent classes.
Okay. So where are you working?
I work at A1 Freeman Moving Company.
Okay.
I'm a IT intern there.
Okay, great. Well, let's talk a little bit about what are your plans after high school? What's next? What's next in your lives? Riley?
I plan to study history at UCO and later go and get my law degree and become a criminal defense attorney.
Really? All right. History major. We can talk a little bit about that. All right. Christian?
I'm going to go to Rogers State up in Claremore. I have an honors scholarship up there. I got accepted into the honors program, full ride. And there's not many things like in the program that I'd want to study, but I'm going to go for business information technologies since that was the one that was most me. I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's one you want to pursue the most, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dr. Simpson, one thing they didn't say, they're both in line to be valedictorians.
Oh, well, that's
So,
kind of a big thing.
It's top shelf. Neither one of them mentioned that, but I didn't want it to go any farther. Yeah.
Yeah, you can go ahead and mention that next time because that's a big thing. Okay, so you guys both pretty well have your college plans laid out as far as what your path's going to be. But let's talk a little bit about what it's like to be a student at Guthrie High School. Whoever wants to take it first. No pressure with the principal right here.
No, it's good. I love it. I like being at Guthrie High School. Wouldn't be at any other school, that's for sure.
Why?
All my friends are there. It's just a great environment to make friends and to hang out with your friends. It's also a great learning environment. I've been valedictorian. I've been top of my class for, not top of it, but towards the top for all of my high school career. And I can say that the classes are enriching and it's a good environment to learn in.
Great. All right, let's hear from Riley.
I definitely enjoy being a Guthrie High School student. It's a lot of fun. I love how active our community is within our school district and being able to see community leaders contribute to what's going on in our school and being able to talk with them outside of school about what's happening is a lot of fun. So it's definitely an enjoyable environment and the learning experiences are really great.
Okay, so I have to confess, I've looked at both of your transcripts. Really impressed with the fact that you guys have taken a lot of AP courses. Talk a little bit about what that has been like, and and I think you've taken some concurrent classes as well. Has that pushed you? And if it hasn't, that just tells me how much more you've got to get pushed at the next level. But I'm just curious.
Yeah, the AP classes, they've been challenging. My freshman year, I took AP Environmental Science. I thought going into that test, I thought I was prepared. But once I got in that room and was taking that test, I knew, we learned a lot, but there was still a whole lot more to learn, for sure. And I've taken almost every AP class. I didn't take the English classes my freshman and sophomore year for AP. But after that, I've taken pretty much every one, and they've all been challenging. They've been good. I mean, not good, but
it's okay. They can be hard.
They've been hard.
That's good.
They've been
Because they're supposed to be,
Yeah.
And if you said they were really easy, I'd be worried.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, our AP Calc class actually is really, really challenging, especially when you're gone a week like I have been. But AP classes really they're a challenge, and if you apply yourself and you talk with your teachers, they're a lot of fun, and they end up being probably the best thing you can do in a high school career.
That's great. That's something that we have worked hard to add to that over the years. In fact, we started work on that about the time that you guys were probably in first or second grade, on trying to add those over the years to make it better, so that when you guys got there, you would find a lot of course offerings. And I'm glad to hear that that's something that's been valuable to you. So tell me your best memory of being a student at Guthrie High School, or in Guthrie, period.
My favorite memory, it's probably my drama class, my freshman year. It's not like...
What was the production?
Production? No, there was no production. It was just a drama class, just an elective. But I just remember having a lot of fun in that class just because of the people I was around. I had Eric Robinson in that class. He's a real funny guy, that's for sure. But, it was a good class. I really enjoyed it. It was my favorite class, but my favorite memory would have to be winning our home playoff game this year.
Okay.
Yeah, really enjoyed that. I started right tackle all year, so after 2 knee surgeries my previous 2 years, it was really nice to get out there, get a home playoff win. Yeah,
that's great. Riley?
I think my best memories would fall along the lines of football. I love being under the lights and being able to cheer our football team on, and then getting to march our show is a lot of fun, and this year's show was a lot of fun to march. So I would say marching our show under the lights.
The thing that has struck me the most about my time in Guthrie is how involved our extracurriculars are and how good they are. I'd stack our music programs up against any in the state. I'd stack our athletic programs up against any in the state, ag, all of that. And it's interesting that we talk about those things, but we've got people that are involved in multiple parts of that at the same time with their talents, and that's a testament to you guys, because growing up, I was in athletics, and I was also in choir, and I know how much that time commitment is when you're involved in other things and the practices and things like that. And so, hats off to you guys for what you've done to represent our school district. Finish this sentence. Guthrie High School is...
Guthrie High School is a great place to learn, and having the ability to apply yourself is well known within Guthrie High School.
Okay.
It's enjoyable. Yeah, that's the best word I've got to describe it.
Okay. So we touched a little bit. Riley, you kind of touched on this on the Friday night experience. And, I think both of you guys have been highly involved in that Friday night experience. But beyond that, or maybe with that, but what makes our community special?
It's just that everybody's involved. Everybody is a part of most everything. Like Friday night, there's a whole bunch of sponsors from throughout the community, and everybody's involved. Almost all the students go to the games or participate in some way in the games. The whole community just comes around the school and the athletic programs and all the other programs to make a really enjoyable experience.
The community is really involved. Like when the band hosts our pork dinner, which is a newer thing that we've done versus the spaghetti dinner, it's really cool to see how many people in the community actually want to come out and support us, and it's just they don't just support us or football, they support whatever. If they have a kid or a grandkid or a niece or a nephew, they will support whatever that program is, regardless of how much they actually go and see those programs.
You know, I watched. I've been in town long enough now, and in this job to watch how the support, like you know, Riley, what you're talking about on Take the Pork Dinner, for example. You know, band parents that their kids have gone on and they're in college or they're no longer still in school and they're in adult life. Those band parents still come back and support band. It's like almost an alumni thing, but you know then you watch how it's so true on so many levels with our community, and I think that's something that I'm really proud that you guys notice that and appreciate it, because I can tell you that it having been in other communities, it's not like that everywhere. And that's something that I'm really glad that you guys appreciate in your positions. So, twisting this a little bit different lens, what sets us apart from other places?
I would say the community is what sets people Guthrie apart from the other places. How involved everybody is in everything that we do. The whole community just enjoys the school and just wants to see the school prosper.
I would say one thing that probably sets us apart is how many of our students are a part of multiple organizations and not just like they're the star football athletes, so they just stay in football. We have people who are in football and in band and are a part of our math club. So I would say the students themselves are really what sets us apart with our ability to change what we do throughout our high school career.
Bravo, great answer. I you know, that's the thing that I when I talk to people about what we're like, I talk about the fact that we are large enough to offer a whole lot of things, but small enough to have a community and also to have lots of involvement. And I think that, and when you get there and then have excellence on top of all that, that's what makes, that's the sign of the special student body that we have. So who's made a difference in your life up to this point?
I think my teachers have made a difference because they've really shown me that if I apply myself and I strive for success, I will be able to succeed in whatever I try to do. Even though I'm not the best at math, my math grades are still above an A, and I have managed to become one of our speaking valedictorians. So really just the people who have pushed me to strive for success are who have made a big difference in my life.
Anyone in particular?
Coach Porter probably was the most recent pusher other than my parents. He definitely was. It was a lot of research outside of his class, and he definitely wanted me to succeed.
Okay.
My dad was my guy. He's pushed me to be good, but he's also been there for me at every step of the way. To make, he's pushing me to make sure I'm not falling, and it's really nice.
It's great. Fun fact about Coach Porter, he and I grew up in the same neighborhood in Stillwater.
Wow.
He's a little bit younger than me, but not a lot. I don't know if you even knew that.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. Casey and I have known each other for a long, long time. It's a great educator. Okay, let's go back. This question, we're getting almost to a point where it's people don't remember it, but let's go back to March of 2020. That was your 8th grade year, right? Talk about the spring break that never ended. Do you remember it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed it. Going to spring break and just not going back to school, it was nice. I mean, it wasn't good, the reason why we went, but I've got a sense. I played a lot of played a lot of video games with my friends. I got a lot closer with some of my friends just because, like, the amount we hung out online and in person. And without school, you'd think, like, you know, we wouldn't be as close, but I think we grew closer in that time.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I'm the exact opposite. I wanted to go back to school. I am one of 3 kids. I am the oldest of 3 kids. It was having all 5 people in the house and not being able to advance my knowledge and just being stuck in my house really sucked. So I definitely wanted to go back to school. By the time school came around our freshman year, I was ready. Our summer band program, I was so ready. I was glad to see other people and just be able to get away from everybody because it was a lot.
Yeah, you know, we look back on that and we think about all the things that we took for granted that we look at differently, and almost we're kind of getting to a point where we take that stuff for granted again because it's been normal for so long. But talk about that next year. You know, the masks, the quarantines. What was school like for you guys as freshmen? This is a weird year, wasn't it?
Well, it was a weird year just because, like, you didn't know who would be at school. Like, if they got quarantined, they'd be gone. Or, like, if they got it, like, half the class would be gone, and you just you couldn't do anything because half the class would be. You could learn online. Right? You could still have Google Classroom, but that's not you're not learning the same amount as you would in an actual classroom.
So what's crazy for us is our freshman year was COVID. And so we didn't have a normal freshman year. Half of our class was gone generally the entire year. And it's kind of cool to be able to see the kids after us get to have that normal freshman year feel where they're exploring new things, but they're also sticking with what they were. They're learning that friendships don't always stay the same when you're a freshman versus when you're junior high. So it's definitely really cool to see that experience. I would say our freshman year probably was really, really weird, especially with the both of us taking an AP class that it was mostly juniors, and so we didn't have that background knowledge, so it was definitely weird. It was a weird experience, and Friday nights were really weird.
Yeah.
But I'm very glad we're back to normal football season.
Yeah, that you know, I think back to all of the, you know, when Mr. LeGrand was the principal, he and I would talk about decision fatigue, you know, and everybody want to know, what's this going to look like? And I'm going, I don't know. You know, everybody thinks, you know, everybody's thinking, well, he's got all the answers. No, we're running this thing as best we can. And there were a lot of other school districts that were, you know, doing an A/B schedule, or they were totally online or things like that. And it was a lot harder to be in person every day like we were. And then we had those quarantines and things like that. And I know that was hard on you guys, too. And so trust me, I haven't forgotten about it. And I look forward to a time that I can wipe that from my memory. And you guys will be able to probably quicker than I can. If you could change one thing at Guthrie High School, what would it be? No pressure. The principal's right here.
I would try and change how many students are involved in organizations, because we have a lot of students that don't think they are capable of being involved in any of our organizations, and we have so many. I would really want to prove to them that they can succeed in those organizations regardless of how they feel about their grades or their home life. We have a community that will hopefully help and provide them with that opportunity.
That's a great answer.
I don't think there's much I would change.
Okay.
I put myself in the position that I get to do not what I want, but, like, it's right along the lines of how I would go to school, like, in general. Because I do concurrent for my first 2 hours of the day. So I go to school for my 3rd hour and my 4th hour. And then I have junior achievement in the afternoon. So I go to 2 classes that start at 9:54, so I get to sleep in. Really nice. And then I get to leave after lunch, go to work, go home. I just think I'm in a great position
you put yourself in a position to get there too with your academic work.
Yeah, I worked hard to put myself in a position, but now I'm reaping the rewards of it. Yeah.
So Riley, are you in concurrent enrollment as well?
I am not.
Okay.
So I struggle to do online schooling, and so for me, taking AP classes available was easier, and had like I said, I struggle with online, but I am in AP classes. I work 4 nights a week, except for right now because I have a broken ankle, so I'm on leave from work. But I do work 4 nights a week, generally 4 to 10. So
where do you work?
Walmart here in town. So I work for a corporation that is not very much leeway. I can't do my homework, so I'm generally up late doing homework, but here I am speaking valedictorian. So having a job and being involved in the organizations I'm in, it doesn't stop you from succeeding. It might be harder. It definitely is harder, but you can succeed doing it.
Well, and having taught AP courses myself, I can tell you that they're online with a college level curriculum as well. So, Christian, where's your online? Where's your concurrent enrollment? What university is it through?
It's at Oklahoma State. This year. I took my 2 histories last year through Rev State, or not Rev State, OCCC Oklahoma City Community College. I got my 2 histories out of the way. I've taken a government in Comp 1, and I'm taking psychology in Comp 2 this semester. So I'll have 5
well
courses.
On your way. Yeah, that's good stuff. What's something that should never change?
The lunchtime. Yeah, all the students need a break. I feel like an hour is a good break for them, especially since during that period you can go into classes and catch up on all your work.
So the power hour, you like that opportunity.
Power hour is a great thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
The sense of community should never change, regardless of how many of our students are expanding. We should never have our community go away with our schools expanding. I think it actually should become bigger because we have more people to be involved. So that sense of community and just that hometown feel really should never change.
That's a great answer, too. So what are your thoughts about virtual learning days? And Riley, you kind of already hinted to your thoughts on it, but go ahead if you want to.
So virtual learning days for snow days are great. Virtual learning days where if we were to take Fridays off and have nothing but virtual learning, I don't think that would be beneficial to our student body, because generally the virtual learning days, especially with how we have them set up with just assignments being posted online with whatever the curriculum has been, a lot of students don't do that. So I would say it would be detrimental if it were to transition to it being Fridays or virtual learnings, but for snow days, I think it could work well.
I think virtual learning days are great, just period. I feel like people get their work done no matter what. I mean,
is that because you sleep in every day?
It is. It is, yeah. But, my virtual learning days aren't 2 classes, so I enjoy virtual learning days. I think virtual learning days, everybody likes them. They get to sleep at home. They get to sleep in.
Well, it's funny because when we don't have a quote unquote snow day anymore, and we have a virtual learning day, there will be people that get on social media and complain because we don't get a snow day. Those people don't get on social media when we have that snow day off and this Friday that we don't have to go to school when the weather is better. They don't get on there and praise us for that, though. It's funny how that works. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that, or is that just me?
I love the 2 sides of the coin that both our students here are on. Because both of them are super successful at school. I mean, super successful. Both of them are valedictorians. There's only 9 valedictorians, so this is 2 of the 9. And to hear one wants to be at school no matter what, rain, shine, sleet, or snow, and one is okay, and align themselves to have as much success as they've had, and that plan worked for them. And the opposite side of the coin is also true, where Christian has aligned himself with all of the same values, valuing his education, and finding that in the online virtual world, whether that's his college concurrent classes that are online and all that. It's a very unique question, and I love seeing both opinions and how the product is the same for both of these young people, and how they got there was both get to see both sides of the coin. I like that.
Yeah, it shows that not everybody learns the same way.
Yeah.
It's something we've known for a long time.
Yeah.
And so giving people opportunities to learn that where they can be successful is what we're trying to do.
That's it.
And it's not and going away from let's be honest, educators and education is slow to change. But COVID, there wasn't all bad that came out of COVID. We had to change on some things, and it forced us, and it gives us opportunities for, to provide for Riley and Christian, and both on how they learn well. Riley, I'm kind of like you. When I was in my doctoral program, is when this online learning stuff kind of started, and as dysfunctional as it sometimes appears today, it was even worse back then. And I had one course that it was just kind of like, this is not for me. I need to be in the classroom. But I had another course that I appreciated the fact that I could do that work on my own schedule and not have to dedicate that time because kind of like you guys, I was working full time as a school administrator, and it was very busy, and so you have that flexibility. But Mr. T, your point is very well taken. Of gosh, they found a way to be successful regardless of how we've delivered it. All right, guys, what would you like to ask? I've given you the whole show to think about that. Because I haven't taxed your brain on anything else this whole time.
I'll let her ask the question.
Oh, good punt.
Well, I have her in my calculus class, and she's all the time talking about stuff that she would change. But I think
okay.
Why are you calling me out?
Now's the time to say it.
You want to ask the questions? Ask the questions.
Now that I'm back in school after being at the Capitol all week, you want to call me out? Thanks.
Who were you paging for?
I was paging for Senator Hall.
Okay.
And funny story, actually. Senator Hall is the senator for most of Guthrie, and the one portion of Guthrie that isn't his is Senator Green's, and Senator Green is like my long-distance cousin.
Oh,
so I got to meet and talk with both of them, so that was a lot of fun. But
fun fact, before you go on, fun fact about Senator Hall, he and I have known each other since junior high. We played junior high and high school golf against each other, and we still give each other a hard time on the golf course. But his golf game's aged better than mine has. So go ahead.
So I guess one question would be, if you change school districts, what would you change to and why? And if you didn't, what makes you stay in Guthrie?
Good question. Well, I'll speak to my own, and then I may let Mr. T speak to his. But my family's been here for 12 years. The average superintendent stays a little over 3 years in Oklahoma. So that's 4 times the average. It's not common. Why have I stayed here this long? Because I'm happy, because I enjoy working with guys like you. I enjoy working with our great staff. I love our community. Both of my kids are Blue Jays. That's all they've ever known. My wife works in the district as well. She's an elementary counselor, and we love it. And my wife and I both grew up in Stillwater, so we're not far, and have my wife's parents are still alive, and so the kids are not far from their grandparents, and and we're not far from OSU games because I'm a big OSU fan. But it's kind of turned into home, and so that's probably as much as anything what's kept us here. Is it's just a great place to raise a family. And I don't know, Mr. T.
So, kind of the two-part question that you have, the things that I would want to change to make me want to stay, they're just the things that made Guthrie what it was that made me want to be here. Had a longtime friend that was in this district for 12 years, Gary Boxley, who has been a mentor to me my entire career. And good people don't stay bad places long. He had been here for 12 years when I applied to be in the school district. And I knew if it's good enough for Coach, it would be good enough for me. He and I have a lot of the same beliefs in how we treat kids and how we expect kids to behave. And I thought, you know what, if it's good enough for Coach, I can go work in that district. I can go blindly stepping into places of people that I respect. And so I wouldn't change. That's probably the community, the closeness, the involvement, all the things that we've been speaking to that make this a great town. I want to continue to have those things enhanced. So I take some responsibility in maintaining, carrying the baton. When that old track analogy, Coach would be stick, and it's mine to carry now. And I need to run hard. I need to run fast. I need to run well. I need to carry that with diligence and integrity, and make sure this place maintains some of those high quality things that we've talked about. But I was in another district, so the things that have always moved me to different places was how those things affected my family and decisions that I need to make. First and foremost with me and my wife, and that's I've lived in 4 different school districts, and a lot of that movement was not promotion. I wasn't chasing titles. I wasn't chasing any major dreams of mine. Just doors opened, and this is the best opportunity to provide for my family the very best I can. And Guthrie has been one of those places where, like we've attributed the football season, when the lights come on Friday night, and it's the best way I can describe it, this entire town is at the Rock. Mm-hmm. And a one high school town, different than when I worked in Tulsa Public Schools or in Edmond Public Schools, where the town is divided amongst 2 or 3 or 11 high schools and the community isn't there. Everybody's at the Rock on Friday night. And it's that kind of spirit that we rally together and we rally around each other. That's moved me into places like this. So if there's anything that draws me to someplace new, it would always be that one high school town and that sense of community and that pride that comes from that. Guthrie's just a great place to be. I've been here. This is my 12th year in the district. And, like Dr. Simpson's saying, as a coach, I was 12 years at my last job as a football and track coach. And coaches don't stay places very long either. They're a lot like administrators. Yeah. But having the opportunity to grow under the leadership of this district, 11 years as an assistant principal with Mr. LeGrand and Dr. Simpson being the superintendent, and now having the opportunity to lead this high school building, it's been a privilege and an honor. It's been something that I've enjoyed to do. It's a lot of growing. I tell you what, I'm a different person today than I was when I took the job last year, and definitely a different person than 12 years ago. But I hopefully hung on to some of those fundamental things that have made this place a great place to be and a great place to raise kids.
One of the things that I think is always something in the back of my mind of why stay here. You guys are not far from having a seat, and this year it's going to be at the Rock for graduation. You're going to be sitting on that field, and you're going to be waiting in line to go get your diploma cover. And you may even get to talk a little bit at the ceremony. But if you are in a district that has one of those mega high schools, and you sit on the floor of that arena or wherever you're having graduation, and you don't know the people on either side of you, that's not what I want for my family. I don't think you guys would want that either. That sense of community that you're talking about, that comes from knowing, whether you like them or not, from knowing the people that are sitting on both sides of you. And that makes a difference. Now, I'm going to add one thing to it. What would I change or what to make this place better? About $100 million worth right now to get better facilities. I mean, that'd be a start, you know. But the thing is, the magic that happens is because of the people. It's not the facilities.
So my mom actually comes from one of those high schools where she graduated, and she didn't know half of her graduating class. And my dad's from Wellston, which is far, far smaller than us, and he knew everybody in his graduating class. So I'm very glad to be able to know most everybody in our class and at least know of them in our class. So it's a very fun experience being able to know them. I have another question. Okay. So one thing the other pages and I were talking about, and the thing that splits Oklahoma is rural versus urban, which our town is kind of a mix of both. So which side do you think is represented more within our school district, especially now with Charter Oak being a bigger school?
We're in transition. I think historically this community has been rural. They've identified as rural. And when I got here and I started looking at where our growth was, because so much of our growth is, and you don't see it unless you get off the interstate, but it was between Seward and Waterloo. And it's residential in those areas. And those areas, those are not people that are buying up farmland to farm or run cattle or horses. They are subdivisions, and so it's becoming more of a suburban district. With that is going to come challenges because the people that have known how Guthrie has been since statehood, Guthrie has been. We've got to maintain our history, but it is changing. And you can't deny that, but you can get out in front of it and try to have a plan for how it is going to change. And that's what we've been trying to do over those 12 years that I've been here, is to be prepared for that, because otherwise you're not going to have an input and there's not going to be a plan for how that's going to change. Schools are a very important part of that. When I talk to people about the growth that our community is experiencing and potential to experience in the next few years, everybody goes, well, you're going to be 6A? No, I don't see us being 6A probably in any time soon. We're a comfortable 5A. But we've got to be prepared for growth. One of the things that we've done, we've added some extracurricular opportunities. We've added esports. We've added volleyball. We're adding some things to provide opportunities for those students because there's an interest, and trying to be prepared for that. And then, we were 30 years in the making on really the community. For one reason or another didn't keep up with our facilities. And so we're behind there, but we're making good progress on it. We got the Cotterell construction project going on right now, where we're going to add about 200 seats and have a modern building. We're working on stuff for another bond issue, where we'll do some stuff in the short term to address growth, and in the long term for the facilities that we've got to maintain them and enhance them. So I think that's kind of what comes to mind the most, I'd say.
It's those rural roots that have made this place so special that I don't want us to lose that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the way we maintain that is through all these things these extracurriculars, these people getting involved. I think that's what helps kids understand that we're more alike than we are different. I think the kids that grow up in a neighborhood versus a kid who grows up on a farm, are having those experiences, they both can learn from each other, and the only way they're really going to come together, and they come together in the classroom, we may have them, sit next to us or whatever, be an elbow buddy when we do a group project or whatever, but when they get involved in the extracurricular, you spend countless hours. Just think about both of you guys' experiences. I've got to experience, as an administrator, go spend the entire day, carve out the entire day to go to the band contest. Be there when you guys get there, stay till you leave. I mean, it's 6 a.m. to midnight, but the downtime is you realize we're all just kids trying to figure this thing out. We're having fun. We're having a good time. Now we got to dive in and study. We got to figure it out. I've been a part of the athletic side too. That's been the bulk of my career. But when you see those things, I think that's the stuff that is going to maintain this spirit of community in our district. I do see us changes more to that suburban than it is really urban. Even though that corridor on I-35 is creeping further north, and it's slowly moving this away. The inevitable is on the horizon. But I think as Guthrie maintains, that integrity to focus on what has made this place a great place, the more of us that are coming back and giving the community, because you guys are going to be adults. I mean, that's just right there, okay? And where you choose to raise your kids and the values that you instill in them and where you want to put your roots back into, you're going to have the opportunity to be that investor that you've said, man, this has been great. We've seen all these people come around us, wrap around them. You're going to get a chance to invest that back into a community somewhere, whether you do that here at Guthrie or wherever you decide to raise, live your life and raise your families. You're going to have that opportunity. So you're carrying those seeds of Guthrie with you as you grow and as you move on, and as hopefully as you come back and help this place become far larger, far greater, better than it's been, for that next generation. We talked about that a little bit before we came in today, what a cool thing it is to live in a community and grow up in a community. So,
yeah. I think that, with how we grow, as long as we don't forget our roots, and that the cross societal involvement. The example is, as Mr. T's talking about, I'm thinking, my family generations before me were in farming and ag, but I've never been in ag. But my daughter is taking ag. So enriching yourself with other opportunities, I think, is something that we've got to continue to offer and get those kids involved with things that maybe their parents weren't involved with, that give them those opportunities. So, Christian, you got any? You had some time to think here.
Yeah. So I've got a question. What's going on with the Cotterell building, like the project in general? Okay,
we're right now they're in the process of building the new school. In fact, what's going to be going up in about 15 days, we're going to see the gym go up, and that's going to be precast concrete because that's going to be a tornado shelter also, very similar to what Charter Oak has. And so you'll see that going up on about the 15th or so of April, depending on the weather, and then they'll start the rest of that building. Once we get that building built, then we'll tear down the old Cotterell, and that will be made into a parking lot and playground. And as I kind of alluded to earlier, that building used to have a whole lot of portable classrooms, and we've taken some of them out, and eventually those will all go away along with the current building, and we'll have room for about 200 more kids than what we have right now. And so the whole thing, we have over 900 homes platted inside the city limits of Guthrie right now. And so that adds a capacity of about 200 more kids. That's not enough, but that's what we can afford right now. And so then we're going to look at potential opportunities to build on to Charter Oak and to Cotterell. And then we've, you may remember, or you may not know, we own some land that is not far from Sonic on the east side of town that has frontage along Highway 33 where we could build another school. And so we've been trying to be proactive to be ready for this growth and have a plan going forward so that we don't have to. So the solution isn't just we've got to get a bunch of portable classrooms and throw kids in what looks like a little village of metal buildings, but have a quality facilities that we can be ready for. So, and it's on schedule. We look to open that in the fall of 25.
Nice.
Yeah.
And how about the switch from going from kindergarten and pre-K in one building, first and another, second and third? Has that been good so far?
You know, it's funny. I obviously that was kind of something that I pushed, so I'd have to say it's been good. But really, when we talked with our elementary principals about it and asked them, and the thing we have to remember is there were generations of folks that didn't know a neighborhood school in Guthrie. If you grew up here, and many of our teachers who grew up here and everything else, they only knew grade centers. It has been highly successful, and what the principals would tell you is there is no way they would want to go back to grade centers, because what happened, and one of the reasons that we did this was, you know, when you had a parent that had a kid and this is back when you guys were in school, you could have a brother in kindergarten, yourself in first grade, and a brother or sibling in second grade, and you're in 3 different buildings. And the other part of this is we were having to run buses to all 6 buildings. They had to touch them twice a day. Now they don't have to. Every bus does not have to touch every building. If we hadn't done that, the way our growth has been, especially south of Seward Road, I'm not sure how we would accommodate our elementary students, because we had kids riding on a bus for 2 hours to school and 2 hours home, and we still have some long bus rides. But we've cut that down, and we've gotten, and the other thing that we expected to see that I think has really proven itself true is that parents are more involved now than they were, because it's hard to be involved in a building in the PTA and things like that if you're going to be there for a year and then you're gone. And so parents are not going to invest like they will if, okay, my kid's going to be here for 5 years, so I'm going to jump in with both feet, and we're going to help make this place a better place as a parent too. And I think all of those things have worked together.
I was just wondering, because we grew up and it was the centers, as you called them, and I thought it was okay. I didn't see a problem with it, but I can see where you're coming from on this.
Yeah, the thing that is hard is, you guys were around your class forever.
Yeah.
And that's different now. But really those kids get together in 5th grade and they go on. So they're around their class starting in 5th grade as opposed to kindergarten, let's say. And so I think what you find is that they learn to mesh well starting in 5th grade. And I think the other thing is they've developed stronger relationships with the principal and the teacher of the building where they are, because they're with that principal longer. Because you think about it, how many principals did you go through before you got to high school?
Quite a few.
Yeah. So, it's different, but I think it's been very helpful, and especially as we've grown, because I'm not sure how we would do it now with the number of students that we have, and especially as far away as some of them are, because we're bringing folks from Waterloo Road all the way up here, and we were doing that starting in pre-K. So
yeah, I just thought it was interesting because I got friends that live all the way by Lazy E.
Mm-hmm.
When we met in kindergarten, we've been friends since. But I've also got a friend that just lives across the street. Also,
yeah,
I see the kid that lives across the street my whole life, but I wouldn't have met my friend that lives out by the Lazy E till 5th grade. And
yeah, it is. It's different. It's without a doubt. So, Mr. T, you got anything for us?
No particular questions, sir. This has been a great conversation today. It's been a lot of fun.
You guys got anything else?
So along the lines of that, I didn't experience we did the grade centers, but my sister, her 4th grade year was when that transition happened. So my younger brother has known nothing but Cotterell and now Guess, and it's cool to see because I have a younger cousin who's 3 days older than my brother, and she went to Charter Oak her entire life. So it's really cool to see how that transition changed from us being at grade centers and them being at their neighborhood schools. So I would say it's beneficial for those students to be able to experience that.
That's great feedback. You know, I've got a daughter that was in grade centers until her 4th grade year, kind of like what you're talking about, and a son that has known nothing but neighborhood schools. So I kind of get that as well, and it was good feedback. I think I would echo what you had to say. Man, this has been fun. I really appreciate you guys joining us today, and you know, hats off to you for you have really distinguished yourselves academically and with service to the school with all of your high school career and your career in Guthrie. And I truly am appreciative of all of your work, and I look forward to watching great things from you. I also look forward to watching you walk across the field on graduation night. That's one of my favorite events of the year, and a time that I think is special for all of us and our community. And so thanks for everything that you've done for us, and I really appreciate your time. And Mr. T, as always, we appreciate you joining us. And
yes, sir. Thank you.
So we're going to close out Chalk Talk this time, and we really appreciate you listening to us today and enjoying some of the great work that these seniors have put forth at Guthrie High School. Once again, we appreciate all of the work of Aaron Ryburn as well as our producer-engineer. So, for Ryle Green, Christian Perrin, Dusty Throckmorton, I'm Mike Simpson. Thanks again for joining us.